Watch what nuts do to our body.
Cashews.
Cashews are not a nut. They're actually part of the poison ivy family.
No way.
Yeah, there's literature showing that they cause burns in your gut and can actually cause skin problems.
What about walnuts?
Walnuts actually have the same fat that's in avocados. And human studies show that if you eat one avocado a day, you'll actually lose weight. So good fat makes you lose weight.
Oatmeal.
Oh, not oatmeal.
Oats are basically pure sugar. Oatmeal is good for one thing, and that's for fattening horses for the winter. Remember, breakfast is break fast. Lots of human and animal studies have shown the longer you delay eating breakfast, the more ketones and weight loss you will achieve. If you're eventually going to have break fast, look for fat-based sources like an avocado or omega-3 eggs. You've probably noticed there's a lot of alternatives to milk, often plant-based, but beware. Just because it came from a plant doesn't mean it's good for you. Oat milk is just plain bad for you. The protein in oats acts exactly like gluten. Look, my daughter is a horsewoman, and she tells me that the only purpose of eating oats is to fatten horses. Oats have no place in the human diet. Here's the problem with almond milk. Most almond milk is made from ground up almonds, and the skin of almonds has a nasty lectin that will actually hurt your health and cause holes in your gut. So please, ditch the almond milk. Cashews are actually part of the poison ivy family. So if you want to swallow poison ivy milk, have yourself a big, tall, cold glass of cashew milk. A lot of people don't think of coconuts as a nut, but coconut milk is really good for you. Did you know that eating coconut can help switch on your metabolism to waste unnecessary calories? Yeah, that's because it contains special compounds called MCTs. MCTs are super fat burners that help your body convert fat directly into energy. The more of these you can get into your diet, the more lean and healthy you can become. This is actually why people go on the keto diet. MCTs have the same effect as the keto, except you don't need to cut carbs at all. You just add MCTs in. Now, coconut contains lots of MCTs, which is why I always suggest adding coconut milk to coffee instead of dairy or nut milks. But there are other foods packed with MCTs that actually blow it out of the water. Eating these foods is part of how I lost 70 pounds and have kept the weight off for 20 years. I look and feel better today in my 70s than I did in my 40s. And I've seen this method help people of all ages completely turn their health around. Okay, let's talk about the 3 MCT fat-blasting foods that changed my life forever. People know that there's something wrong. They're eating healthier than ever, and yet they're sicker than ever.
And do you think it's stoppable through diet?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. It turns out the key to losing weight and keeping it off is not in carbs or fat or even in probiotic-rich foods. No, the end game of having a healthy weight, as well as more energy and a long, healthy life, comes down to a specific switch you can flip in your body to flush out unnecessary calories. I call it caloric bypass. And by activating this specific process in your body, I have seen thousands, yes, thousands of people dramatically improve their health even at age 50 and beyond. This includes losing weight, getting tons more energy, and returning to the good health they had in their youth once they simply address this one key to better health. Not only that, this is actually associated with improved digestion, strong feeling joints and muscles, smoother skin, and could even be the key to a long and happy life. My name is Dr. Stephen Gundry, and you may know me from my 20 years as one of the top cardiothoracic surgeons in America. I've performed more infant heart transplants than any other doctor in the world. And if you or a loved one has ever had open heart surgery, you were likely kept alive using medical devices I invented during my career. But despite my success as a doctor, my own health was a mess. I was 70 pounds overweight, had arthritis, migraine headaches, high insulin and blood pressure levels, and terrible digestive problems such as bloating, constipation, and a host of other unexplained issues. Realizing these same issues were plaguing millions of Americans and causing the very heart issues I'd spent my life fighting against, my career took a turn as I dedicated myself to learning and overcoming the skyrocketing issues of weight gain, digestive problems, and other serious issues experienced by over half of Americans. And soon, the mystery was solved. I lost those 70 pounds and have kept the weight off for over 20 years and counting. My digestive issues are gone, my health is fantastic, and I feel younger and healthier today than I did in my 40s. Even my skin, my hair, and my energy levels have improved. I've since written 7 best-selling books on health, I've spoken at major universities around the world, and my online videos on health and wellness have been watched by over 20 million people to date. And yet, the video you're watching right now is without a doubt my most important video ever. Because for years, I've known how to help people overcome health issues. It turns out the reason why this worked so amazingly well was partially unknown to the entire medical community, even me. It's only in the last year that I've discovered the final crucial piece of this puzzle. Why is that important? Because it means we can now skip the middle steps and cut right to the one thing which all health is tied to. It's a specific part of your cells called mitochondria. And in this video, I will reveal exactly how to use these mitochondria to switch on extreme caloric bypass so that you can achieve your weight loss goals, gain energy, and feel younger and healthier than you have in years. By the way, these specific Mito booster techniques have been found to provide the benefits of the keto diet without cutting a single carb. I will tell you right now, 2 of these 3 Mito boosters involve adding some very specific and powerful foods to your diet, which can dramatically change your life for the better. But the other one is a simple method that has nothing to do with food. It's easy, free, and you can start using it to activate caloric bypass literally the second you're done watching this video. However, I must warn you the next few minutes will contain revelations that run completely against the grain of everything you've been told about health and nutrition. Today, there's more health news, medical advancements, and expert diets available than at any point in history, not to mention so-called health food on every aisle and a gym on every corner. Meanwhile, over the last 30 years, the health of Americans has rapidly gone down. Digestive issues like bloating, cramps, and constipation are at the highest levels ever recorded. Millions of us struggle with fatigue and low mood. Skin problems, achy joints, allergies, and brain fog are something a majority of Americans deal with every single day. So, forgive me if I don't automatically trust everything the medical industry tells me, and in fact, why I'm quite suspicious of the theories they've been using all along. And this isn't something I say casually. Believe me, I come from their ranks. I was educated at Yale, one of the top universities in the world. I spent 16 years as a professor of surgery and pediatrics and chairman of cardiothoracic surgery at the world-famous Loma Linda University School of Medicine. I was one of the original 20 surgeons who tested the world's first artificial heart and one of the first to use robots in surgery. So no, I don't have some grudge against conventional medicine. It saved thousands of lives. The problem is that most doctors, my younger self included, are only trained to fix problems when you're already just weeks or days away from death. Sure, I knew how to transplant a heart that was about to fail, and I can operate on a cancerous tumor growing in your body. The truth is, the biggest impact we can make on our health isn't finding some new heart transplant or cancer therapies. It's keeping yourself out of the hospital in the first place by making sure your body is stronger and healthier right now. And that means effectively managing your weight, your organs, and even your cognitive health on your own, so that you can be one of those fortunate, healthy people who seems to always look and feel fantastic, even as you enter your 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond. Okay, so let's get right to it. How do we achieve overall wellness, and how do we achieve it easily so that we can sustain it for years and years to come? The key starts in a fascinating discovery that was actually made over 100 years ago during World War I. The year was 1914, and all of Europe was at war. 2 of the countries locked in combat were Germany and France, and both sides worked feverishly to supply their troops with munitions such as bullets, bombs, and explosives. And inside some of these munitions factories, something very strange was happening. It was noticed on both sides that in certain types of factories, the workers were experiencing a very strange change to their bodies. They were getting skinnier. Believing the workers were simply underfed, supervisors began making sure they ate more. Their caloric intake was increased dramatically. Yet, no matter how much they ate, these workers could not gain weight. Well, before the medical community could fully explore this strange phenomenon, the Allied powers prevailed and the war came to an end. Most of these factories were slowed or shut down completely. And so, the mystery of the workers who could not gain weight was forgotten. That is, until 1933. In 1933, a doctor at Stanford University stumbled upon this research. He was curious because the side effects the workers experienced were similar to those he suspected from a specific biological process that occurred deep inside our cells, in a part of your body I mentioned before, the mitochondria. I know that sounds like a strange, science-y term, but I can actually make you an expert in it in about 1 minute. The mitochondria are the power plants of your cells. They're in charge of producing all the energy your body needs to survive. The energy you need to take a walk or do chores, but also the energy you need to digest food, to keep your heart strong, and even keep your skin looking young and healthy. Your mitochondria do all this by taking the food you eat, processing it, and turning it into energy. Pretty cool, right? And if there's too much food, your cells can store the extra energy to use later. That energy gets stored as fat. Now, this was very helpful for our ancestors because during the Ice Age, food was scarce. So when there was extra calories available, it made sense to put them in storage as fat for emergencies when food was hard to find. Of course, in the modern world, you and I have access to food all day. So the excess calories just keep getting stored as fat again and again. And eventually we've got way too much fat and no real way to lose it. Which brings us back to our skinny World War I factory workers. When researchers went back to study the type of munitions these factories were making, they realized all the factories where people lost weight were using a specific type of gunpowder made with dinitrophenol, or DNP. DNP, it turns out, is what we call a signaling molecule. That means it tells mitochondria what to do. And what exactly does DNP signal? It tells your cells to do something fascinating. It says, "Hey cells, waste energy." Sounds weird, right? Why would it ever be helpful for our cells to waste energy? Well, here's an analogy based on a classic TV episode you may have seen from I Love Lucy. Lucy and Ethel are working in a chocolate factory, wrapping up chocolates on a conveyor belt. At first, it's easy because the conveyor belt moves slow. But as it speeds up, they can't handle all the chocolate. It moves so fast they start shoving chocolates down their shirts, in their hats, even in their mouths. Well, in your body, this same thing happens when you eat food. When your mitochondria get too much food, they can't handle it all. And that's when the extra calories get stored as fat. Now, back to DNP. I call DNP a boss molecule because it acts like Lucy and Ethel's boss. So imagine Lucy's boss said, "Hey guys, instead of shoving the chocolate in your mouth, just take all the extras you can't wrap and throw them away." Now, Lucy and Ethel can slow down and everything works better. In your cells, the exact same thing can happen. When we signal your cells, "Hey mitochondria, quit working so hard," instead of turning those extra calories into fat, just let them pass through unprocessed. So the calories get tossed out of the cell and you don't keep the fat. Sounds too good to be true, right? And yet it turns out this is exactly what DNP did to the World War I factory workers. This chemical signaled to the workers' cells, "Hey guys, no matter how many calories we eat, don't turn any into fat." And it worked. The workers could not gain weight no matter how much they ate. Researchers sometimes refer to this as mitochondrial uncoupling. I call it caloric bypass because it literally helps your cells bypass calories, resulting in lower body weight. Well, back in the 1930s, when researchers discovered DNP's effect for weight loss, they began prescribing it to patients, and it became one of the most popular diet pills of the era. There was just one problem. DNP is poison. People lost weight, but DNP is toxic in many ways. Signs of acute DNP poisoning include vomiting, flushed skin, sweating, dizziness, headaches, and irregular heartbeat. Some people who took DNP even died. So in 1938, the FDA officially banned DNP as unsafe for human consumption. And thank God they did. Human beings should not be taking dangerous chemicals used to make explosives just to lose weight. But unfortunately, the dangers of DNP made it so researchers completely abandoned any interest in caloric bypass for the next 70 years. But did we give up on this research too soon? What if there were ways to activate caloric bypass without ingesting harmful chemicals? In fact, what if there was a way to waste calories that was not only safe, it was something that dramatically boosted your overall wellness? It could mean even easier weight management because your body absorbs fewer calories. Not only that, scientists universally agree that excess weight is correlated with heart disease, diabetes and prediabetes, high blood pressure, insulin issues, digestive problems, achy joints, fatigue, and a host of other health problems. Mitochondrial health has even been associated with smooth skin, a strong feeling body, and most impressively, longevity. In other words, there is a great deal of positive benefits at stake here if this process can be harnessed safely. Well, over the past few years, I've dedicated my research to studying every type of boss molecule that activates caloric bypass. There are actually quite a few, and many of them are healthy. but I kept coming back to 3 specific Mito boosters that worked far, far better than all the rest. My first Mito booster is a very powerful type of compound found in many foods called polyphenols. Polyphenols are a specific type of compound found in certain plant foods. They occur naturally in very dark berries, such as black elderberries, blueberries, and pomegranate. They're also found in certain spices, including turmeric. And new research indicates that the more of these polyphenols you eat, the healthier you get. In one study, scientists concluded that people who ate the highest amount of polyphenol-rich foods may have a reduced risk of developing type 2 diabetes. In another study, polyphenols were found to help keep blood sugar and cholesterol levels in the normal range. Polyphenols can even help people with memory and brain function in as little as 12 weeks, just from drinking the juice of polyphenol-rich grapes. Polyphenols are also naturally beneficial to gut health and play a crucial role in fighting things like bloating, occasional constipation, and other forms of digestive discomfort. According to researcher Dr. David Stevenson, our research has shown that the polyphenols found in fruits and vegetables are broken down by bacteria in the colon. Our studies have shown they influence the microorganisms for use as ingredients in functional foods that promote gut health. And perhaps best of all, study after study shows polyphenols, for some reason, can help people lose weight. If you've ever heard me speak at universities or news programs around the country, you know I've been a huge believer in polyphenols for years, starting with a patient of mine who I called Big Ed. Big Ed was a 260-pound biker who had one of the worst heart blockages I'd ever seen. So bad, in fact, I couldn't even operate on it. But within 6 months, he'd cut his blockages by half and lost 45 pounds with help from eating a very specific berry and supplement diet. When I studied the specific foods he was eating, I realized Ed had randomly stumbled upon a super polyphenol combination of berries and supplements that helped him dramatically improve his health. And well, the rest is history. We were able to perform heart surgery and Big Ed made a full recovery. And I began what would become a 20-year journey of studying polyphenols and longevity and helping tens of thousands of people achieve these same dramatic physical changes in their health. And yet no one, not even me, knew the crucial final piece of the puzzle. Why were these polyphenols so effective for Big Ed? Now I know the answer. Recent studies show, incredibly, that polyphenols activate caloric bypass. It turns out the polyphenols Big Ed took are a signaling molecule that tell your mitochondria, hey, don't work so hard. Let those calories go to waste. We don't need them. Which leads to less fat being stored and, you guessed it, the weight loss, the heart health, and the boost to many other areas of health that studies show polyphenols can achieve. But do you want to know the most incredible part? Polyphenols, as amazing as they are not even the best signaling molecule for caloric bypass. That would be my next Mito booster. Mito booster number 2, ketones. Now, you've probably heard of ketones before. Ketones are a special compound made in your liver. If you're on the keto diet, the whole point is to create more ketones. That's because ketones have been shown to help people lose tons of weight, get more energy, and even achieve clearer thinking. Studies show they can even support your longevity. You know where I'm going with this, so I'll cut to the chase. It turns out ketones aren't doing this through some crazy magic. They're actually the world's most powerful signaling molecule for activating caloric bypass. Incredibly, almost nobody, not even the inventor of the keto diet himself, ever knew this is why the diet worked. However, I've spent over 40 years working with people on issues of obesity, diabetes and prediabetes, digestive issues, heart disease, and a whole host of reasons that have made me an expert in just about every diet known to man. And here's 2 things nobody tells you about the keto diet. Number 1, most people on the keto diet are actually never in ketosis, the state of producing ketones in the liver. And number 2, there are much better ways to create ketones without cutting carbs. Let's start with number 1. The keto diet works by cutting out all carbs, so your body is forced to convert fat for energy. When your body converts fat, it produces ketones. Okay, so far so good. Burning fat and getting energy is something we all want. But when I test people on the keto diet at my clinic, almost none of them are in ketosis. So they're not burning any fat at all. They're just depriving themselves for no reason. I can see these exact effects because I test every single person for over 50 separate biomarkers. If your doctor hasn't given you this test, don't be upset with them. I'm one of only a handful of doctors in the country allowed to run these complicated tests at the top labs in the world, the Mayo Clinic, the Cleveland Clinic, Berkeley, and others. And thanks to Medicare and insurance, I've been able to run these incredible tests at little to no cost to my patients. So I made sure to give them to everybody. When the results came back, I could see exactly what foods were making a difference and which ones were not. And let me say this again based on my findings. Almost nobody who is on the keto diet is actually in ketosis. That's because biologically, most overweight people on a ketogenic diet don't actually break down the fat they've stored in their fat cells. And without liberating fat from their fat cells, their liver can't produce ketones. Moreover, when people do achieve ketosis, it's incredibly difficult to sustain. Why? Well, it's pretty simple. Carbs are delicious. Going weeks or months without ever eating carbs is not only impractical, it's downright miserable. Most people fall off the wagon out of sheer frustration, and I can't blame them. Sadly, when they start eating carbs again, they usually gain back more weight than they lost. That's because fat comes back much faster than muscle. So often, the weight you lose on a diet is healthy muscle, and the weight you gain back is fat, probably in the belly, hips, thigh, or butt. So if you've ever looked in the mirror and felt like you looked worse after a diet, that's likely the reason. So in summary, based on my findings, most people on the keto diet never end up producing more ketones at all. But here's the thing. You do not need to cut a single carb to create ketones in your body. In fact, your body can naturally produce ketones if you do one specific thing. Fast for at least 12 hours between meals. Yes, if you can fast for 12 hours, your body gets desperate for energy and switches into ketone production mode, meaning your body naturally switches into a state of caloric bypass. In one study at the National Institute of Aging, a group of middle-aged overweight men and women were split into two groups. One ate 3 meals a day, and the other could eat only 1 meal a day, but they could eat as much as they wanted. You might think this pig-out diet wouldn't work. But after just 8 weeks, the fasting group on average had lost an astounding 4.1% of their body weight. And in animals, intermittent fasting has been found to actually extend the average lifespan. The reasons were once a mystery. Now they are not. Fasting creates ketones, and ketones cause caloric bypass, which not only sheds fat, it helps all your cells just work better. Now, as great as these results are, as awesome as it is to see fat melt off your body without cutting carbs, fasting is still hard work for most people. And I understand that. Especially if you've been eating 3 meals a day your entire life, it can be a difficult habit to break. But what if there was a way to create ketones without fasting and without cutting carbs? This was my mission in life, to find natural foods that could achieve ketone production in the liver. I tested thousands of foods. Some worked a little. Most did nothing at all. Until I began studying what I now consider to be one of, if not the most important things you can put into your body. It's my Mito Booster number 3, MCTs. MCT stands for medium chain triglycerides, which is a kind of fat found in certain foods. But what's so special about MCTs? Well, almost every food on the planet that you eat can be converted into fat. And if you eat too much, that's exactly what happens. But MCTs are truly unique. MCTs can never be converted to fat. When you eat MCTs, they go straight to your liver, and they can only be converted into one type of compound, ketones. Let me say that again. MCTs can only become ketones. And the more MCTs you eat, the more ketones they produce. Let's see what that means for your body. In one study at the world-famous Columbia University in New York, 49 overweight men and women were split into 2 groups, one of which added olive oil to a healthy diet, the other added MCT oil. The doctors measured their results for 16 weeks. At the end of the trial, the doctors were shocked. The MCT group had lost up to 8 pounds, far more than the olive oil group. Even more interesting, the MCT group had lost more fat from their waist, and best of all, inner deep fat around their organs, the kind that can contribute to issues such as liver disease, heart issues, and even cancer. This supports another study at McGill University in Canada that observed overweight women, on average, burned more calories a day, up to 45 calories extra, with the addition of MCT oil to their diet. At the time, the researchers weren't sure why the extra calories were getting burned, but you and I do. MCTs convert directly into ketones, and ketones activate caloric bypass. In other words, if ketones are a shortcut to helping you improve your health, MCTs are like a shortcut to a shortcut. And the good news is, in humans, it seems these effects are entirely beneficial, even when consumed over the course of a lifetime. To see proof around the globe, look no further than the island of Sardinia in the Mediterranean Sea, one of the 5 blue zones on Earth where people routinely live to age 100 and beyond. They also look younger on average and have far fewer health issues. Interestingly, one thing that sets the people of Sardinia apart is that they eat goat cheese every day, which is naturally rich in MCT oil. And then there's the island of Puka Puka off the coast of New Zealand, which is inhabited by a tribe of people who have had almost no contact with the Western world. The people on this island, despite having zero modern health care, live to very old ages, have skin that looks smooth and young, strong and slender bodies, healthy hearts, and almost no digestive problems. In fact, they have virtually zero cases of any age-related health problems. When I looked at their diets, I immediately noticed that they eat an absurd amount of one specific type of food, coconut oil, containing one of the highest concentrated MCT oils on the planet. In fact, the so-called Mediterranean diet, the one doctors agree seems to help people lose weight and live a long life, is really a diet loaded with polyphenols and MCTs. All the data, all the best results, all kept coming back to one thing: eat foods that activate caloric bypass. Well, armed with this new theory about the connection between certain foods and caloric bypass, I knew I had a new mission in life. After all, this isn't just about looking better, losing weight, feeling strong, even supporting longevity. Caloric bypass is quite possibly the single most important biological process we can activate in our bodies to help us improve our health as we age, especially after age 40, 50, 60, and beyond. So I decided to put my research to the test. Intermittent fasting is a super healthy lifestyle, but at the end of the day, that's a choice for the individual. But finding the most potent polyphenols and MCTs, the two most powerful ways to activate caloric bypass, that was right up my alley and something nobody had attempted before. So I scoured the globe, testing hundreds and hundreds of polyphenols and MCTs. I was looking for polyphenols that went way beyond the power of simple blueberries or strawberries, and for MCTs vastly more powerful than goat cheese or sheep's milk. I was hoping to find one I could use to supercharge caloric bypass. But in the end, I didn't find one. I found 4. The first 2 were polyphenols, a powerful extract from red and black currants, specifically made from a unique strain sourced locally in France. Next, I added a special type of grapeseed extract from my favorite variety of Sicilian grapes, one of the most potent polyphenols ever discovered. And last, I combined MCT extracts from coconut oil with potent acacia fiber and several superfood vegetables into one super powerful MCT blend. I had taken various polyphenols and MCTs over the years, but none as strong as these, and never combined into one formula using only the best sources I could find across the globe. When I started taking all 4 together, I felt like a switch got flipped. I had vastly more energy, clearer thinking. I had fewer unhealthy food cravings, and yet my body felt healthier and stronger. I had no digestive issues. Best of all, staying trim felt like it was on autopilot, because the MCTs I was drinking every day were converting directly to ketones without fasting or crazy exercise. I began giving this formula to friends, family, and clients who were desperately hoping to achieve these incredible benefits themselves. People kept coming back and telling me their results weren't just good, they were phenomenal. They kept telling me the same things. Their energy was through the roof. Their bowel movements had improved with less gas and bloating. Their brain fog was gone. They felt sharper and younger. Unhealthy cravings were gone. They looked better in the mirror. One user in his 70s felt so good, he told me, "Dr. Gundry, I don't ever want to be without this." So immediately I got to work on a larger batch, one I could offer anyone who was looking for the results of the keto diet without the suffering. I called this formula Gundry MD's MCT Wellness. MCT Wellness is the first and only formula of its kind, a powerful blend of MCTs and polyphenols, designed specifically to power your mitochondria and help you activate caloric bypass. That means feeling all-day energy because your mitochondria are working smoothly. Improved weight management because these ingredients support the release of excess calories, even while you sleep. Saying goodbye to digestive issues thanks to the gut-boosting power of polyphenols. Clearer thinking and increased mental energy thanks to the well-known effects of ketones on cognitive health. And maybe most important, the feeling of knowing you're doing something that's not only healthy, it could literally be helping you achieve the long, healthy life you deserve. And this works for people of any age. I'm 71, and I feel better than I did at 40. Best of all, you're not going to have to scour the globe to dry, measure, and blend these ingredients one by one. My team has found a way to turn these MCTs and polyphenols into a single, powerful drink, one you can take every day to achieve the incredible benefits for yourself. Simply mix 1 scoop of MCT Wellness into 8 ounces of water, stir, and drink. It has a delicious lemonade flavor, and it goes to work immediately inside you, charging you up with energy starting with the very first use. It's also free of lactose, gluten, soy, caffeine, dairy, GMOs, and sugar. It's a simple, powerful tool to help you achieve the energy, weight, and health you deserve. I'm going to tell you how you can get MCT Wellness in just a moment. But first, let me tell you how we achieve these amazing results. It's all thanks to two things. Number one, using the exact right MCTs and polyphenols, and number two, using only the best forms of each. You see, as powerful as MCTs are, there's actually 4 different types. I specifically chose the rarest and most powerful, known as C8 MCTs. Why? Because these are the MCTs that get converted to ketones fastest. The power of MCTs was tested in a 2018 study on mice, which researchers consider beneficial since they can control every aspect of the mouse nutrition. The mice were split into 2 groups, and one group was fed MCTs, the other not. And the observed results on their energy and overall health were pretty shocking. After just 2 weeks of taking MCT oils, the mice could run twice as long as the others who got no MCT. That wasn't all. Their skeletal muscle function was significantly improved. The researchers also observed mitogenesis, meaning the mitochondria, powerhouses in the mice cells, were doubling again and again with every day they took MCTs. This explains how the mice were acting younger, stronger, and healthier. More mitochondria means healthier, younger, more powerful cells all throughout the body. And in humans, the results were even better. Ketones are a natural way to fight what's called deep fat. This is without a doubt the worst kind of fat and the most dangerous. Fat around our organs leads to terrible problems and is associated with almost every serious health issue you can think of. It's also the reason many people have a protruding belly that's so hard to get rid of. That's often not just belly fat, but deep fat, and most diets fail to burn off deep fat. But MCTs lead to ketones, which can melt that fat away. By the way, MCTs have also been shown to help support insulin levels already in the normal range. MCTs are also a source of immediate, clean energy. This is the amazing thing about ketones. Since they can't be turned into fat, all your body can do with them is make energy. That means if you've been feeling sluggish, MCTs provide a clean energy boost without the jitters of too much caffeine or the calories from sugary snacks and drinks. And maybe best of all is the mental energy. Ketones are your brain's favorite source of energy and are much healthier for your brain than sugar. Just like putting super premium fuel in a sports car, ketones can improve the performance of your brain. In studies, taking MCTs resulted in improved cognitive function and mental energy. They can even support a strong memory. One of the greatest feelings is when your mental energy comes back. It's like the fog has been brushed away and everything is clear. You just feel younger and sharper. But MCT Wellness is more than just MCTs. A lot more. Because remember, while MCTs are the most powerful mito boosters, they work even better when supported by the correct polyphenols, which is why I also included 2 of the most powerful polyphenols on the planet, red and black currants. Currants are tiny berries, most commonly found in sweet foods like scones. But there are hundreds of varieties of currants, white, red, black, pink, and dozens of varieties of each. And some currants have really interesting powers, including supporting cellular health. I found a French lab that had tested hundreds of currant varieties and ended up narrowing their study down to just the most powerful few, a special combination of red and black currants with extremely high polyphenol levels. And when mitochondria are working better throughout your body, you can see improvements to your energy, your muscles, and interestingly, even your skin. In a series of tests, 50 French women between the ages of 40 and 65 were recruited to study the effects of the currant extract. These women all suffered from wrinkles, crow's feet, and dry skin. Well, after 6 weeks of taking the extract, the women displayed significant anti-wrinkle and smoothing effects on their faces. Incredibly, the results got better with time. After 12 weeks, they had significantly more moisture in their skin. It was shocking. After years of scientists and corporations studying every type of cream, balm, moisturizer, and topical serum you can imagine, sometimes with little or no results, we were seeing incredible changes to people's skin, not with topical creams, but with polyphenols that you digest. Which brings me to my final ingredient, grape seed extract. While some people eat grapes for their health benefits, most people miss the real motherlode of polyphenols because they aren't in the tasty part. They're actually in the seed. However, it is possible to get these polyphenols in your diet by removing the seeds, drying them, then pulverizing them into a powder. And if you're using the exact right strain of grapeseed, the benefits can be massive. Grapeseed extract is a powerful digestive health supplement and has been shown to support the probiotics in your gut. I struggled with bloating, constipation, and other digestive issues for years before I turned my health around with polyphenols. If you've struggled with these issues too, polyphenols are a major gut hero. But there's more. In animal studies, grapeseed extract is well known to fuel improved bone density and has a significant benefit for achy joints. A lot of times when clients tell me their bodies are feeling old, what they're talking about is achy joints. It can really have a negative impact on your desire to exercise, travel, or just go on a hike with friends and family. But when you start turning those aches around and your joints, bones, and muscles feel strong again, it's like a new lease on life. You feel like exercising more and socializing more with friends, and it makes playing with kids and grandkids fun again instead of a chore. Polyphenols can help with all these things. Perhaps best of all, grapeseed extract is also extremely heart healthy. It's been found in several studies to help support blood pressure levels already within normal range. It helps other organs too. It's actually been shown to help support healthy kidneys and liver. I probably don't have to tell you this, but healthy organs equals longevity. It's obvious, but it's true. When our vital organs are taken care of, we're not just going to feel better. We're doing something to help make sure we're around for our loved ones for years and years to come. And achieving this isn't impossible or even hard to do. We all have the power to improve our health dramatically with the power of MCTs and polyphenols. Now, at this time, I should point out that MCT wellness is not necessarily for everyone. If you're already in ketosis regularly, meaning you fast for 16 to 18 hours daily, or eat almost zero carbs, then your body is likely producing significant ketones already. And while the ingredients in MCT wellness have been shown to make the keto diet work even better, you may just not need it. There is such a thing as losing too much weight. However, if you, like most people, are not regularly in ketosis, and again, up to 90% of the people on the keto diet aren't even in ketosis, then you very likely have been experiencing the weight gain, food cravings, fatigue, aches, brain fog, and myriad other issues for years, and MCT Wellness was designed specifically for you. Okay, so let's talk about how you can try MCT Wellness and experience these same dramatic changes for yourself. Now that our user groups are complete, we've been getting more and more calls to find out how retailers can get MCT Wellness in their stores. But I keep telling them the same thing. I don't want MCT Wellness in stores. Why? Well, for starters, most of these retailers demand huge product orders. I explained to them that the whole reason MCT Wellness is getting these amazing results is because we didn't skimp on ingredients. The current extract alone is incredibly difficult to source from France and expensive to produce. If you use some cheap knockoff, it's not going to give you results. The other problem is that these retailers add huge profit margins to their products to pay for their stores, their CEOs' private jets, and of course, their stockholders' insatiable demand for short-term profits. They were quoting me retail prices of over $100 a jar. That's just too high, I told them. Well, my Gundry MD team looked into it, and as you might expect, we can do better. After all, we don't have private jets. We're just a team of hardworking professionals with decades of experience helping people transform their health for the better. And by distributing MCT Wellness ourselves with no middleman, my team said that we could use 100% high-quality ingredients for a suggested retail price of $69.95. I was impressed. That's actually a price I would have gladly paid to get help losing weight and get rid of my fatigue and the many other issues I suffered from prior to getting my health under control. But I know the more affordable something is, the more people will have access to it. So, because you've watched this entire video, and because I know how serious you are about finally taking control of your mitochondrial health, we've decided to dramatically lower the price of MCT Wellness for a short period of time. So, if you order MCT Wellness from us today, you don't have to spend $100 a jar to finally tackle your health. Actually, you don't even need to spend half that. If you order MCT Wellness right now through this video presentation, you'll pay only $49.95. That's an instant savings of $20. But remember, this offer is only available to first-time customers through this video presentation, and it's only available until supplies run out. And supplies will sell out. When they do sell out, this offer will be taken down immediately, and MCT Wellness will return to its regular price of $69.95. Why are we lowering the price so low? Well, my life mission is to help as many people as I can to regain their health. I've lectured around the world. I've appeared on shows such as Dr. Oz and The Today Show, And I've been on podcasts and hundreds of news programs across the country to spread this important message. MCT Wellness is my newest and I believe most powerful tool yet. A way I can reach through the screen not just with my words, but actually send help directly to the people who need it. All I ask is that, when you feel the life-changing results that come from supercharging your mitochondria, that you tell your friends and family about MCT Wellness as well. My hope is for Gundry MD to become a household name, and I know this formula works, so I want as many people to be able to afford it as possible. Update. Congrats on making it this far. Because you're serious about improving your mental and physical health, we've got some new special packages of MCT Wellness available to help you save even more. You see, most of our users fall in love with MCT Wellness after just their first week of use, myself included. In fact, we've received over 20,000 orders of MCT Wellness since first offering it to the public. And the reason we have so many users is because when people start taking MCT Wellness, they end up asking for quite a bit more, not just for themselves, but for friends and family too. So we've created multi-pack options to help you get some really big savings. When you order a pack of 3 jars of MCT Wellness, you'll pay only $44.95 a jar. That's $25 off the retail price of $69.95, and you'll get free shipping with your order today. And if you order a package of 6 jars, you'll save even more, up to $165 off the retail price, which is incredible. Prolonged use is the #1 best way to get the most out of MCT Wellness. So click the Next Step button below right now to find out if these options are still available. Speaking of prolonged use, people who want the most benefits and even lower prices usually opt for our Subscribe and Save option. By choosing Subscribe and Save when you order, you get an additional 10% off our already reduced prices. And you get MCT Wellness delivered straight to your door every month, so your progress is never interrupted by waiting for your next bottle. You also receive free shipping on every order, and you'll always be guaranteed delivery, even if we run out of inventory for the general public. Best of all, you'll be grandfathered in at 10% off for as long as you wish. There's no contracts or anything, and you can cancel anytime. It's just a great way to make sure you always have MCT Wellness on hand, so your body never reverts back to its prior state. The reason I'm offering this opportunity is because our user groups experience greater and greater results with every week of continued use. And that's why we created the Subscribe and Save option and an extra 10% off. I want as many people as possible to experience the stunning transformation that comes from sustained long-term health. If we do still have stock available, you'll see the Subscribe and Save option on the right side of the product page. I encourage you to act now if you're serious about your health and longevity. And no matter how many jars you order, every single order comes with our ironclad money-back guarantee. Yes, that means you can use every single drop. And if you don't experience all the changes our user group did, the boost in energy, easier time losing weight, the stronger, healthier feeling body, just send it back for a full refund of your purchase price, even if it's just the empty jars. That's how confident we are in this groundbreaking new formula, so I want you to use it all and experience the incredible change for yourself. So click the Next Step button below and let's get started. When you get to our order page, you'll see order options for MCT Wellness on the right side of the page. If you see our options for our special 3 and 6 jar packages, then we still have some of those packages in stock and the extra savings are still available. And our warehouse is based right here in the USA with a team of friendly customer service specialists standing by if you have any questions. The feedback we've already received has been phenomenal. So I hope you're able to order right now and take advantage of the special internet-only price before it shoots up and you miss your chance. Most packages leave our warehouse the same day they're ordered, which means if you order now, you could be opening your first jar of MCT Wellness in just a few days. Imagine the feeling of taking MCT Wellness for the first time, knowing the formula was created using the most advanced energy-boosting, fat-burning technology available. When our MCT Health Blend begins to take effect in your body, you can feel what I and other users do, the pleasant surge of energy, that feeling of pure clarity and confidence. Like the cobwebs have been brushed aside and everything is suddenly crystal clear. In fact, I bet after your first time using MCT Wellness, you'll say to yourself exactly what I did. I didn't know I could still feel this good again. But remember, MCT Wellness is not available in stores. So please, if you want to feel the dramatic effects of this groundbreaking mitochondrial booster, click the Next Step button below while there's still time available and we have some jars left in stock. Now, I'd like to get serious for a moment and talk about what's going to happen if you don't start making some real changes today. Now, unless you're one of the tiny fraction of people who is already in ketosis frequently, the reality is that your body will continue to deteriorate as you get older if you do nothing to help it. The fatigue you're dealing with right now, the digestive discomfort, the extra weight, these are not problems that just go away on their own. Yes, you could make some radical changes to your lifestyle, dramatically eliminating all carbs from your diet, starting a comprehensive exercise plan, but these changes are very difficult to stick to. As a surgeon and a celebrated nutritionist, I can tell you that the longer you wait to deal with problems, the worse they get. That's why I'm urging you to take action today and make a positive change in your health. Try Gundry MD MCT Wellness right now, risk-free, and see for yourself. One serving per day of this delicious drink can have such a remarkable impact on so many areas of your health. I want you to feel the charge of energy that kicks in with this formula. I want you to feel the relief when those frustrating flare-ups leave your achy muscles and your tissue. I want you to feel great after you eat and to make indigestion, gas, and constipation a thing of the past. I want you to feel and see your changing waistline every morning when you look in the mirror. I want you to feel the vitality you know is inside you, just waiting to come out. Please click the Next Step button below and get started right away with this investment in your future. And remember, this special first-time customer offer is only available while this video window is open or until supplies run out. Just try one jar of Gundry MD MCT Wellness right now, get instant savings of $20 off the price of a single jar, and feel the effects for yourself. Don't forget, you'll get significantly deeper discounts on larger packages, up to $165 instantly off the suggested retail price if you act now. Try it for a full 90 days. And if you're unsatisfied with the results for any reason whatsoever, you'll get a complete refund of your purchase price. I'm positive you're going to love how this product makes you feel. I'm certain Gundry MD MCT Wellness can help you live longer and feel better than you have in years. For your health, I'm Dr. Stephen Gundry. Still here? You've probably got some questions, and that's very common. Let me take a few moments to answer some of the most commonly asked questions about MCT Wellness. I've seen some other MCT products advertised. How is Gundry MD MCT Wellness different? Before I developed this formula, I looked at the other products out there, and I saw huge problems with every one of them. So much so, I refused to recommend any of them. Here's why. First, many other MCT products, including so-called MCT coffee creamers people use in their coffee, are made from the cheapest, lowest quality forms of MCTs. Companies then combine them with artificial sweeteners to make them taste good. These have virtually no benefits. They're basically just a sweetened oil that can make your health worse. MCT Wellness has no sugar or artificial sweeteners whatsoever. And as you know, I've sourced only the best ingredients from around the world. Second, I've supported my MCT blend with 3 of the most powerful polyphenols on Earth. This is based on years of research into caloric bypass and which exact ingredients best activate mitochondrial uncoupling. But the big difference between MCT Wellness and other health formulas is that I chose the ingredients for this formula based on scientific results. Look, I'm a surgeon with 40-plus years of experience and a published medical nutrition researcher, so I brought this expertise to the table. This formula gets real results because it's got science-backed ingredients at the right dosage. Also, MCT Wellness is not just a mitochondrial health blend at all. It's really a 3-in-1 formula that can help boost energy, hit your weight loss goals, and provide clearer thinking like nothing else can. It's a complete package with the right stuff that works. To see the full list of ingredients, dosage, and supplement facts, just click the Next Step button below for more information. How do I know what's in the jar? Gundry MD MCT Wellness contains only 100% pure quality ingredients. The content of every formula is tested for quality and purity at an outside third-party laboratory. And again, my formula contains none of the toxic ingredients you'll find in lots of other so-called health products. MCT Wellness is sugar-free, artificial sweetener-free, lectin-free, soy-free, and dairy-free. As a physician, I'm putting my reputation on the line with this product, so you can be sure I go to great lengths to make sure every jar meets my high standards. I made a pledge when I developed the Gundry MD line. I will never sell any formula I wouldn't personally recommend to a loved one. But of course, as a physician, I know that no supplement works for everyone. There's always a very small segment of the population who may be allergic or who can't tolerate certain ingredients in supplements. So consult your doctor before starting any new dietary supplement. And if you want to return it for any reason at all, simply contact our US-based customer support team for an immediate refund. How will I know if it's working? Great question. The best thing about this formula is that you should start to feel it very quickly. Many users report feeling a distinctive, noticeable energy charge within a week of consuming. It may take longer for some than others, but it's a feeling you're going to want again and again. You'll notice a lifting of the brain fog that often clouds your day. Breakfast should digest more smoothly. You'll feel better about completing tasks one after the other without losing steam, without losing stamina. After lunch, you'll wonder why you don't feel more lethargic. And the energy from this breakthrough formula comes without the crash you get from caffeine, without the crash you get from sugar or empty carbs. This is a clean energy because it's the kind of energy your body is supposed to be getting. You'll know it's working when you look up at the clock and it's already 10 p.m. You didn't notice because you were busy playing cards with friends or working on that personal project or watching that romantic movie with your spouse without falling asleep. This is what I'm talking about, the real meaning of having more energy. Of course, there's only one way to really find out if MCT Wellness will work for you, and that's to try it for yourself. If you're ready right now to get started, and if you're still here, you should be ready, simply click the Next Step button just below. How do I use MCT Wellness? Now, this is the best part because it's just incredibly easy. It literally takes not even 1 minute out of your day. You simply take 1 scoop of MCT Wellness and mix it with 8 ounces of water, stir, and drink. It tastes like lemonade, and it's actually become my favorite morning beverage, or a delicious drink to have during the day if I ever need an energy boost. The extracts in this formula digest so easily, your body starts metabolizing them quickly into energy you can really feel. It's important to take your MCT Wellness every day on a consistent basis. I take mine every morning so I can get my day started with a boost of long-lasting mental and physical energy. What if it doesn't work for me? Another great question, one we get all the time. Look, as a physician, I believe that everyone can benefit from the mitochondrial boosting, energy-restoring ingredients in this formula. However, I'm experienced enough in medicine to know that people are different. An individual body can react very differently to identical compounds. I've even seen very effective drugs have little to no effect on certain patients, and it's all just down to their individual body dynamics. So, even though our users rave about the incredible changes they see when using MCT Wellness, there are going to be some cases with fewer results. However, the great news is this. If the formula doesn't get results for you, I'm going to give you your purchase price back. In fact, if there's any reason at all you're unsatisfied after a full 90 days of use, I'll return your investment. Again, my reputation is on the line here. I want every single person who comes to Gundry MD to have a completely positive experience. It's my name on the label, and I've come too far to risk that. So, try Gundry MD MCT Wellness for 3 full months. If you don't see truly remarkable results, less fatigue, reduced digestive discomfort, clearer thinking, and easier weight management, I'll give you your money back, and that's my personal guarantee. So please, simply click the Next Step button below and get started, risk-free, right now. You'll get detailed information on the website about the full list of ingredients in this cutting-edge formula, about myself, and everything you need to know about the product. It's been a pleasure spending this time with you today, and I hope you'll take action today. Just click the button below so I can get started on personally transforming your health and your energy. For your health, I'm Dr. Stephen Gundry.
Scan now to get this exclusive offer.